All right, hello, gang, and welcome back to Two Girls with a Case. So, Marissa, I want to do this one a little bit differently. I'm going to ask you a series of questions before
Okay.
we actually dive into the case. This case, though, takes place in Japan, and though it is in Japan, it is all over. So it's like an unsolved case of Japan instead of just one particular place.
Okay.
Yes. So when you think of Japan, tell me what you know about Japan.
More advanced in like technology, Also think of cherry blossoms because beautiful, beautiful. Some of the mountains there, the sea, Tokyo, of course.
Mhm.
You know, Hello
Okay.
Kitty.
Yeah, just roll with me here. I promise this is for something. Okay, this is for something. Okay, now tell me if I say the word vending machine to you, what do you automatically picture?
Food.
Food. Okay, so this case tonight is called the vending machine case. And I guess in this category or in this topic, it'll be cases because it is an unsolved case for many people. Now, so let me see how do I want to jump in and start this? Okay, so I guess let's go back to some more questions. When you think of like a serial killer, what crimes do you normally think of them committing?
Just regular like slashings, like
Mm.
like multiple like unsolved per se, like case stringing along like the city type of scenario.
Okay, well, buddy boo. So when I found out about this case, I was a little bit like, It was so. Unlike America, there are over 5 million vending machines in Japan. 5 million. And some of them are not even for just food. Like they have some vending machines for like eggs or
Mhm.
umbrellas, shirts, ties, panties, just vending
They're
machines.
insane.
Yes, for everything. And apparently they have the oldest vending machine. I think it is still working today. I wrote his name down. It is, and I might get this wrong, but I will staple it in Tawaria Koshiki. Yeah, Koshichi. He created the first ever vending machine. It was for postage stamps. So people could go, yeah, and apparently I think it was like a rotating one. So they could get like postage stamps, envelopes, and they could also use it as a post office box, like to send off mail. And that was created in 19, let me see. He created no, this one he created in 1804 or oh 07, one of the two. I did not staple that date, but that's the first one he created, and it is the oldest living vending machine. But then in 1950, that is when the vending machines became popular in Japan because he created another vending machine, but that was for dispensing tobacco. So that is how like tobacco got started, mainstream and all that stuff. So on the night of, I believe it was in April because Shay obviously didn't. I gotta go back. So the night in April, there was this man who was 45 years old. He took a drink of a bottle of something called Oro Naaman Oronomanim C. And a few days later, he died. Now, before this, he fell ill. He was, let me see, was this the one or was it another one? Yes, this one. So he showed signs of being poisoned, but the doctors could not indeed tell like what was happening, just that he was indeed poisoned.
Oh,
He was not the only one. So there was another man who was 52 years old. His name was Haruo Otsu. He also went to a vending machine. The first one to a vending machine, he got this drink. So let me put it like this. Well, the second man, he also goes to the vending machine. He gets a drink that night and he gets a free bottle of oronomanium C. And he drinks it and he falls ill. Yes.
is okay. So this vending machine, like, is this the exact same vending machine, or is this a
No,
different?
it is a different vending machine.
Okay.
So the 52-year-old is has went to one vending machine. The 45-year-old has went to another vending
Okay.
machine. So Orono, this is gonna give me Oronomanium C is like a health drink, a health tonic drink. Now, the reason why people are getting these free bottles of drinks is because the Otsuka pharmaceutical company noticed that there was a decline in this. We're going to call it O juice drink because this name is going to send me tonight. So, the O juice drink, there was a decline on that, and the people noticed something was awry. So, in efforts and hopes to like bring up the rise of the drink again, they would give everybody a free bottle of the OJ juice once they bought something else out the vending machine. And so people would drink it because it's a free drink, you know? And so let me just pause here, staple this, and just ask you this. But if you just saw like a random Dr. Pepper at a vending machine, would you drink it?
No.
In Japan, people leave bottles around all the time. Empty bottles, bottles of something they don't want, and others will just come up and drink it because that is their custom. And I'm sitting here like, that is so weird because we would never do that, in the States. It reminds me of when I went to Korea and they were just leaving their bags, and I'm like, we would never in the States. So, this guy, the 52-year-old who had the free bottle, I well, let me be frank. I don't know if they didn't say if it was like, I know one of them was in the vending machine. One of them was probably like around the area of the vending machines. Whenever I was researching it, it doesn't really specify, just that they had these free bottles of this stuff. And the 52-year-old sadly also died.
Mm.
Now, the side, so when one of them was tested on for like what he was being poisoned for, the 45-year-old, I believe, they found out that paraquat was being used in the drinks. So, paraquat is apparently a chemical used against weeds, but it was banned in over 30 countries because of like not abnormal but outrageous side effects. So, side effects include blisters on your skin as soon as it like makes contact with you. I'm talking about like instantly. um there's the possibility that the burning of your blood vessel walls could happen, and it doesn't say where, it just says the burning of blood vessel walls, and I'm sitting here like, oh no. If it is swallowed, it can create holes in your throat, like in your skin. It can inflame the tissues around your major blood vessels. Like, even inhaling this can be deadly. And so, what they are assuming happened is this guy was going and getting these bottles, especially the ones that were not being, drunken from or emptied, and he would fill it up with these chemicals and just stuff it back into the vending machines. And the craziest thing about all of this is 10 people were killed, 35 people were injured, and they have no person and no motive. So, the places where this took place in is Fukai, Miyazaka, and Osaka. And there was 35 injured, 10 killed. On October 4th, in October in the year of 1985, four people were dead. In November, two people died. And I think there was some more in August. The last victim was this 17-year-old female from Saitama. So this was just happening all
Oh,
over Japan. Like there was no reason. It was young people getting killed. One of them was a college student. Older people getting killed, and so apparently also I was reading around this time frame there was a bunch of like copycat serial killings going on in Japan. So it was just chaotic. Everybody wanted to be okay, I'm not gonna say that because I don't know for that to be true. A lot of murderers was coming out the woodworks and trying to be serial killers and just, plot up the next big ploy. So they don't even know if this was like a one-man job, if this was multiple people, like if this was a copycat or an original. And apparently, after this last victim died, the 17-year-old, the murders just stopped. It just completely ended like that after her death. So we don't know if he's gonna strike again, if she's gonna strike again, because it could have been a female who did it. There's just no answers.
oh wow.
Yeah, there's nothing, literally nothing. It's just they were at the wrong vending machines at the wrong times. Many of them lasted for like 2 days and then they were declared deceased. And yeah, they never caught the people responsible for it. And they don't have any motive as to why they went on these killing sprees.
That is horrible, dude. Oh my God.
And then what caught me, like, just, I guess, flabbergasted me was the fact that it was in so many places, like because part of me is like, okay, one person could have did that if they went to, every city, and people do have time on their hands. But then to think about it, like, for you to plot something out like that and then to meticulously go and fill these bottles up, like, Japan is so big and there's so many people there. Like, how did people not see you, like,
It
just
almost kind of like seems like maybe it was like the distributors of maybe like not necessarily the could be the bottles or for like whoever like taking maintenance or whatever of those vending machines.
yeah,
Maybe.
that's what I was thinking too. Like, maybe it was a worker, because for you to, it had to be somebody who was really watching,
Yeah.
and seeing how they operated and moved.
It was
Because
encapsulated.
yeah, and then, he had to have the chemicals stored. He or she had to have the chemicals stored somewhere, to go put them in the bottle and fill them up. And apparently they were like, they said the reason this one was such a like successful case was because they were trying to boost up the sales of the OJ juice. So because they were trying to boost up the sales of it and were giving people these free drinks, I mean, it's free. People are not going to question that. People are not going to be inclined to, turn it down because it's just sitting there and that's their custom. And people were just going and, popping a bottle, and then that was it. So, yes, this case took place in, like I said, 1985. Um, I assume it is just like a closed unsolved case now. There hasn't really been any more update on it, or any more talks about it. Just the last thing I saw was like the untrue I mean the untold story, which basically was saying that he or she or whoever did it had much success with this case because like I said, they were trying to boost this free drink. And there was no motive from what they can tell. And apparently the copycat criminals were very bad. Like it was a whole oh yes, that's what it was. So I did not include this in the notes, but I vaguely remember. Apparently when these serial killings took place, they happened in like two different waves. So there was like one wave of incidents that happened where there was another poisoning going on, which is why they assumed that perhaps this one was a copycat one. But I don't think that the first killings that were taking place were vending machine related. It
Mhm.
was something else. But after that wave went and passed, then this wave happened and more lives were sadly taken, from this. And so, yeah, I am just a little bit flabbergasted about this case.
Yeah.
Like
How are they not able to trace back people who at least like purchased that chemical or
yeah, and like you were saying, Japan is so advanced with technology and stuff. Like y'all don't got cameras, like at these vending machines. Like nobody has a street camera where y'all can go and just look and run surveillance and see, who done came in and out of your dispensaries. It is, yeah, it is a wild case. But yes, it is called the vending machine murders. And yeah, that that is what I was investing in today because
Mhm.
yes, it was wild. Let me see. Yes. So yeah, that is your guys' case for now. It was short and sweet, I know, but I felt intrigued by this case because
I'm
there is
and I'm
yeah.
flabbergasted.
Yes.
Like, what?
Yeah, I know that when I read it, I was like, excuse me. Now, let me just preface this also by saying there are some other cases that we are gonna round back to in Japan because I'm just like, I am clutching my pearls. Like it is it is different in that part of the world. But this one took me out because yeah, they don't have no killer. There's no motives to this person. Like they don't know who did this, and it's just random people going to drink these free drinks and they just sadly died, and oh my goodness. So yeah, that happened in 1985. Okay. Yes, over three different parts of Japan.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Like, how far apart are all like the cities from each other? Like, are they all like on opposite ends of the country? Like,
You know what? That is something I can look up right now because I don't know. I did not actually look this up and see. I knew of Osaka obviously because that is where I want to go visit. Let me see, map of Japan so I can tell you for sure. So right on. So in Japan, so Osaka. Ooh. So Osaka looks like it's on one part of land, but then like Miyazaki,
mhm.
that's on another stretch further down. Miyazaki is closer to, I guess you would say, like the East China Sea. That is where Miyazaki is. And Osaka is close to Mount Fuji.
Okay.
And the other place, let me go and find it. Fuk, Fuk. I'm so sorry to the people watching. I am bad with names. I actually can't see where that one is. So I'm gonna have to look into this one and see because I don't see where Fuyoki is. But yes, they like you would have to take like a boat to get
Oh,
from
wow.
Osaka to. Miyazaki. Oh, Fukui. Fukui. It is by, so that one is closer to um Osaka, like it is on the lands, but it looks like you have to travel through a lot of cities to get there. It is like stretched apart. So I would say these are probably like days trips from each other,
Oh wow.
yeah, or longer. Cause yeah, it going through all that and stuff like, yeah. So yeah, somebody, I don't know, maybe it was like a gang of people, in cahoots. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me because it happened over the course of essentially like 3 or 4 months in different places,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just stopped. And I think that that's the most unsettling part is like, okay, I'm glad you stopped, but why did you stop? Like, did you just get your fix? You know what I'm saying? Like, did the sales go back up? So y'all didn't, like, what happened for you to decide like this is our last victim? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It's a little eerie, but yes, that is the case of the vending machines, guys. And I don't know. I'm just intrigued by Japan. And obviously for bad reasons. I shouldn't be intrigued by this, but I was like, I want to know more. Tell me more. And strangely enough, there's like not really a lot of information about this case. And I don't know if it's because it's like a foreign case, but typically all the websites more or less worded around the same things. Like the only name I have for any of the victims was the 52-year-old. There's not really much details about the other, victims of this. And so I feel like I have more questions than answers, but I have some answers. So you guys have some answers. But yes, so it was a short but sweet case this week. I did not look up another one because I thought maybe I could stretch it out and elaborate, but
Doing
they
great.
weren't giving me much about Japan in this one. Okay, so this is all, guys. But if you do have any knowledge of this case that you want to share with us, please do. If you know something more about it, if you know who the killer is, tell us. We are not gonna take it to Japan.
Drop
We
a
just
comment
want
below.
to drop a comment. We just want to know what it is that is going on. But thank you guys so much for listening to the case, even though it was short.
Thank you
And
for sharing with us, my dear.
yes, and next time Marissa will be taking back over. In the meantime, please make sure to drop us with the heart, subscribe, comment what cases you might want to hear about, what you think about this case. And yeah, until next time, I've been Shay,
I'm Marissa.
and we are two girls with the
With
case.
a case.
Bye, guys.